Okay, so I chose to do Sinners for my final project. And why Sinners? First off, it was very popular. I think the popularity is what got me to even consider watching Sinners, since it is a horror film. And I am not much of a horror person. I like fantasy, I like rom coms, like something light, and I love fairy tales. But yeah, so the popularity, it was all over my TikTok, it was all over my Instagram. People I follow were rating it and posting it, and I was like, okay, I gotta go see what this is about. So the first time I went in to watch, like I said, I'm not much of a horror person. I was very fidgety. I wasn't paying much attention to detail or anything. But one thing I did notice was music and how it was portrayed, or how it was conveyed in the movie. And to me, that was music is forbidden, or music is wrong, or music is going against your religion. And I was able to relate to that, which is why I even went back for a second time to watch it. So I'm Muslim, and in my religion, music is haram, or forbidden, or not encouraged to, listen to, or to even make music. So at first I never understood why, because I still listen to music to this day, I'm not gonna lie. Like I never understood why that was the case. And then after walking out from that movie, I was like, okay, maybe this is why music is forbidden in Islam, because because of the evil, because it invites evil to your crib. And I'm like, okay, now I know what my religion is talking about, because I never really dug deep in. I digress. I never really dug deep in to see why exactly music was forbidden. Anyways, and yeah, after that first watch, I correlated the guitar with music, which is sin, which is bad, which is forbidden. And I never saw it as a form of resistance. Then when I also was able to think about American history, I realized that the vampire Remick, he is Irish. He's Irish. And I remember learning in AP American history that the Irish were also struggling when they first got here, and they were treated horribly by the British. And I saw that in the movie, and I was like, okay, so the Irish are trying to say that they had similar experiences with black people, African Americans. And I'm just like, okay, they had similar experiences, but it's still not the same, because at the end of the day, they're still white technically. So yeah, I was able to, and I love history. I love U.S. history. I think it's very interesting. It's very intriguing. So I was able to kind of correlate that, and I was like, okay, this is sparking something. And I was able to look past the horror film and see more of history, more of what this country went through. Then we get into African American history, which is very, very fascinating. I'm African, so it's I can relate, but I can't really relate. So just learning it from an African perspective is very interesting. And the way that what African Americans came with from Africa to what they took from here, what they use and kind of like combined it together to bring gospel. And then this is when the guitar, I see the guitar as a form of resistance. I see it as a way for African Americans to resist oppression. And this is where it all began. So second watch, I was like, okay, this is about resistance. This is telling us how African Americans were resisting and were resisting oppression, and going through all this with all this cultural combinations, because it was a lot going on. There was Asians there, and that just kind of also lets you know, I digress so much. That also lets you know how different cultures influence African Americans, and how we're able to all kind of work together as a community, even through different races. Okay, next. What led me down this route? So the music versus conflict. Obviously, again, this started out as a religious perspective for me, because I was able to relate to, music being forbidden, and through my own religion. And then my curiosity about U.S. history. this is what led me down this path. I love U.S. history. I would major in it if it wasn't healthcare, but it's healthcare. And then again, I was able to move past that that music is forbidden, or like music versus religion perspective, to music as a way to navigate and resist oppression. And this, I actually got this from you, Tony. You helped me kind of see this, because I was really stuck on my religion versus music, and then you were like, how about you look at it from a different perspective? And I was like, yeah, okay. And then I remembered something. I watched the Underground, or is this called Underground, on Hulu? I highly recommend it. And I just remember this one song. I forgot how it goes, but it's a really good song. And it was basically the song they used to escape oppression. It was basically the Runaway song. If you knew the song, you knew the path to get up north. So it is very, very interesting. I highly recommend. I also watched the Underground Railroad, and it was good. It was a little confusing, but it was good. I also, recommend. But I watched the Underground like 3 times, and I think I'm gonna watch it again just because. So I recommend that. So my goals is to basically prove, or basically just argue, that Sinners isn't just music for atmosphere. Now, the music was a huge part of the film, and it was amazing, but it was also a large part of the film, a lot of people did not kind of understand, or like took in as a way to see how African Americans were resisting oppression. It was more of this is how like African Americans started this type of music, and this is how they did music. It wasn't more of a resistant. It wasn't seen more of a resistant kind of thing. So yeah, what I'm arguing is that Sinners uses the music mainly to kind of show that they're resisting. And then I really focused on Preacher Boy, because his father from the beginning told him, if you keep playing with that guitar, you will invite the devil into your house. You will invite the devil into your crib. Like, he was not playing. So I was like, he's gonna be who I'm talking about. And I absolutely loved how in the beginning the guitar went from, it's so beautiful actually. The guitar went from being something that was seen as evil, or bringing evil to your house, to your space, to your home, your comfort, to being something that protected you from the devil, that it was said to have put you, like, that was said to have come to you because of it. And it literally saved Preacher Boy's life. It literally saved his life. And I feel like that can also be like that. Also, again, it just brings into how important music is to African Americans and our history, and how music was used to escape oppression, to deal with slavery, to go through slavery, and how music helped that. Music was a huge part of slavery, and I feel like it's not talked about enough. And I feel like Sinners is a great way to start it. It's a great way to start talking about it. I feel like I'm running out of time, and then for my audience, I feel like this was a very chill, like, laid back. It's more of a, this is what I saw from the movie, this is what I got, this is what I want to talk about. And since I'm really interested in this, I want you guys to be interested in it. That was kind of like my tone. So very laid back, very chill, but it's also very important. Like, we need to know this. But it's also something that's like, that can be taken, it can be talked through, I would say, lightly, even though it is a very deep convo. It's a deep conversation. And for the audience, I would honestly love to talk to anyone about this, because I just find it so interesting. I wish I could talk to my mom about it, but she does not know much about U.S. history or African American history. And English is not her, it's not my primary language either, but so it's kind of difficult for me to kind of communicate that with her, because it's really interesting to me. And I would love to talk to other people about it, like anybody, and sit down and talk about it. But I tried talking to some people my coworkers. I tried talking to them, and it was not a conversation. It was more of me telling you what I thought about the movie, or how I'm seeing the movie, or how I'm going to do my final project about this movie. I was not getting any feedback, like nothing. It was more of just, wow, that is so interesting, and you're right. And I was like, that's cool, but I want to know what you guys think as well. Like, and I feel like for them, it was more of a learning experience, like I was telling them. And I didn't like that. I wish it was more like a forward going, like everyone included conversation, discussion, because this is so interesting. It's really interesting. Excuse me. It's really interesting. And I just wish we talked about it more. I wish we talked about Sinners. Honestly, I feel like, Tony, you should add Sinners to your collection of films, because this film, it's so much. This is literally just the surface. It's not even the surface. I'm just scraping it. And yeah, I feel like you should add this film. There's so much to tackle, so much to talk about, so much to discuss. And this is aside from plain old African American, not even plain, but just aside from African American history, there's Irish history, there's U.S. history in general, there's slavery. And slavery, although it is a part of African American history, that is a whole other different area, like that needs to be studied completely differently. And then on top of that, Jim Crow, that also needs to be studied. And I think vampires, because I want to know why vampires were used to depict to depict the devil and nothing else. And I will say that kind of also plays back into African American culture. And if you know anything about vampires, they cannot come into anyone's crib without an invite. Same goes with African Americans. You cannot come to the cookout without an invite. So I see the correlation. I see it. The film is phenomenal. I just love this film so much. I cannot express how much I love this film. Mainly because there's so much to talk about. And I just feel like it is just fabulous. Anyways, for my methods and madness, I watched the movie 3 times. I'm pretty sure I watched it more, and I would go back and replay some things. I wish I could just yap about this, honestly, but I don't know. I'm running out of time. And I found a lot of PDFs on Gospel Blues and Pioneers and lectures. So I realized that this is something that a lot of people did research on and studied. However, I guess people my age, I would have never knew about this